much for coming today. Texworld is one of the premier events of the year for us every July and January. We love to help host these, explore the floor tours, because we know that it's educational, it helps you get to the next level in your career, and that's what Fashion Mingle is all about. Fashion Mingle is a global platform for fashion industry entrepreneurs. We have members in almost every country in the world, and we have about 50% of our members right here in the United States. So you'll be getting emails from us about how you can use the Fashion Mingle platform to promote your business. We're also, for those of you who are looking to advance your careers, we're going to be releasing a career portal in the coming weeks that's going to allow our businesses to post jobs, internships, freelance gigs, any kind of collaborative opportunity. You know, everything that makes the fashion industry engine run is what the career portal is going to be there to connect you with. So we're very excited about those new features, and we'll be sending you emails to let you know about how you can participate. I'm very excited today to welcome two very important members of the Fashion Mingle team. We have Alex Helander, who is from the fashion industry for years, working in sourcing and sustainability, and Susanna Moyer, who is also has a long career in the fashion industry, but she's also an instructor at Parsons and FIT. Actually, Alex is as well. So I'll let them introduce themselves, and how we're going to do this is Susanna and Alex will tell you their areas of expertise. One's going to be in textile sourcing, one's going to be in apparel sourcing, and then you can decide which tour. And then for those of you who are, just entering the fashion industry, to, answer any questions you have about your, getting the education and the skills you need to go into the field that you want. Okay, so let's welcome Susanna and Alex. Susanna, would you like to start?
Sure. So a little background. I am a fashion designer, and I have worked in a lot of different countries with a lot of different big businesses. But the thing that I think is super interesting with this show, if you have any questions for me, is that I had my own business for 10 years. And I grew and scaled that business in the US. So domestic production for the side of what I did with my own company, and then international production with big companies like Liz Claiborne. The other thing that my background contains is living in Paris and working in very high haute couture fashion. So any questions you might have today that would relate to the show, this is an amazing show. I walked around a little bit. There's everything from trends, trend companies like Dominique Picler. There are Lensing that's innovating textiles, and there are all sorts of manufacturers that we can walk past and take a look at. So questions, I would say, on the way that you work, relationships that you need to have with manufacturers is really important. And for those of you that are walking the show for the first time, networking. There's amazing companies here and opportunities, and Fashion Mingle is such an amazing network for anybody that is looking to look for anything in the fashion industry.
I'm Alex Helander, and while Susanna was out on haute couture, I can't even say haute couture, most of my career was spent grinding it out in the factories. So over 25 countries sourced in my career. I know that space really well. The interaction between retail brand and manufacturer is probably, to me, the most important of the relationships, but often it's the least nurtured, unless you have a really dynamic partnership. And when you do, then your partner, your manufacturing partner, is an invaluable resource. They always are, but they're not always perceived that way. So I'm here today to help out, ask any questions. Some of you that are starting out, don't have a business, thinking about a business, don't really know how to get started with that. all the way through robust businesses that are just looking to add a little expertise to their knowledge base. Happy to help out in any which way that I can. This is a fantastic show for giving you the global view of what sourcing is all about, whether that's in textiles or finished goods. And it is a global business, right? As much as we talk about onshoring, nearshoring, which is a fantastic thing and I believe in 100%, the textile and apparel business is a global business. And the sooner you can learn how to nurture those relationships. Susanna spoke to networking, super important, paramount to network, get to know. You'll never know when you're going to need to tap into some of these resources. And since they're all consolidated here and you get a great representation, take advantage of that. So that's pretty much it.
I would say if you're starting a business, you'd like to really find somebody. It's going to be more expensive. It's going to be better. You can babysit what you're manufacturing, but it's really good to start on a smaller level domestically and have less of a margin for yourself.
Is there a subset here that's management locally with an office in New York, but manufacturing abroad?
So there are, a really good question. So if you're manufacturing, I work with a factory that has a small studio here. I've worked with her for international China production. I work with her for small companies, and as we scale, we are able to have the manufacturing done at 350 pieces per style. Overseas, we're able to look at the margins, and it's a full package.
A lot going on with trying to bring the manufacturing back to the United States, but a lot of that is up here, and the actual reality of what's going on is a little less robust, right? So we still have cotton bottoms that are done in the United States. If you think about denim in Los Angeles, obviously that left but didn't leave too much. By the way, if you're interested in that, there's another trade show downtown called Kingpins, and it's the preeminent trade show for denim. So it's today and tomorrow in Basketball City, which is down by the Brooklyn Bridge, way across from downtown. Really, really cool show. And so for the domestics, the nice thing is that we're trying to get that back, but most companies that want to invest in that have not. Why? A, because of cost, B, limitation of the raw materials, and C, capability, right? So if you think about China, I'll give you an example. I was doing business with a cotton sheet or a printed kids line for sheets a few years ago. That machinery, very wide printing, digital printing, that machinery only exists in China. So they wanted to move the business, this manufacturer in the United States wanted to move the business to Vietnam. It was a little cheaper. China was having its political problems, of course, and high rises just during COVID. And so, yes, they could actually sew sheets in Vietnam. That was the easy part. But everything that required them to print Disney figures and all the rest of that stuff on subliminal prints was based in China. And so you can't just move the machinery to Vietnam and or the dyeing capability. So everything is linked together. So when you make a sourcing decision, like onshoring into the United States, great, good idea. But can everything that you need exist here? The ecosystem of your buttons, your zippers, your threads, your polyester yarns, whatever that is, does it exist here, or are you technically, in other words, importing everything from China just to make it into the United States?
Looking at trends, you can look at trend, you can also look at vintage. A lot of companies buy vintage, and then they'll use those garments to get into it. Okay, I'm Susanna Moyer, and this is a group, some people know about sourcing, about how it works. This factory, I'm assuming, is a knitwear factory. You are not going to do a jacket. You're not going to do a woven shirt. She is a specialist in her factory, is specializing in knitwear, and you can see what types. Now, if you ever do knitwear, you have to make sure there are the correct machines, right? That nothing's gonna crack. We've all had garments where it's like crack, 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 and then we take it back to the store, right? So this looks like it's 4-way stretch. So she would be somebody I would talk to if I wanted to do an activewear company. Also, it looks like she's got different types of textiles in here. It's very focused. They've got things for dresses. It looks like sleepwear. So you want to look at samples that are going to connect with what you want to manufacture, and then talk to somebody. So tell me, what are the minimums per style?
Oh, we have them.
Oh, so great. So you are so organized. I love this.
What they do is they get fabric scraps, fabric rolls, and rolls of product. So anybody here who's thinking of starting a business, you can go, put in a couple of hours sorting, and then you can walk away. They'll give you free fabric. Doesn't mean you'll have the fabric that you want, but you can go there and you can at least see if you can walk away with a few rolls of fabric. It's enough to get started for your sample lines, right? You only need a few yards to make a few samples to kind of start seeing if your dream, your ideas coming to fruition, to show buyers your line, whatever. I'm not saying it can solve all of your answers, but it's cheap and it's an easy way to hack into the system so you don't have an MOQ problem. The other one is to go and talk to the suppliers of fabric and say, I'm looking for prints that are rounded